Hey everyone. In this video, I want to share some tips with you that will help you avoid settling in your relationships. So without further ado, let's dive right in. The first tip that I have for you is to practice self-love. You pretty much want to get to a place where you love yourself enough that you're happy being on your own, that you enjoy your own company. This is one of the biggest problems that leads to people settling in their relationships because they don't love themselves. And if you don't love yourself, you're not going to enjoy your own company. You're not going to enjoy being alone and doing things on your own, which means you're going to feel lonely. And if you feel lonely, you're going to want anyone, just anyone, to be there with you so that you can avoid those feelings of loneliness. That means you're going to be far more likely to settle because you're not really going to care about waiting for someone great to come along. You're going to want to kill that loneliness as soon as possible, which means the first warm body that comes along, good enough for me. That's all that's needed, right? So it's really important that you practice self-love. I've already made videos on this, but I can give you a quick summary. Pretty much just means treating yourself better, being kinder to yourself with your thoughts, and wanting what's best for yourself, not constantly beating yourself up and having this horrible relationship with yourself. You should kind of view the relationship you have to yourself is like the way you want to treat someone you deeply care about, someone you even love, like a best friend, or even like someone you're in love with, like on a romantic level. Treat yourself in that same way, where you just really care about yourself and want what's best for you. And you're not going to be mean to yourself because that doesn't really solve anything. So you're going to be supportive, you'll cheer for yourself, you'll motivate yourself. That's what you want to do. That's like a quick summary of practicing self-love. Do all of those things and it'll make it so you won't feel lonely all that much anymore. You'll actually enjoy your own company and also have fun doing things on your own more often. Like, don't wait for other people to be with you to do the things you want to do. Do them by yourself. That will also help you enjoy your own company more. So you're not going to need somebody there with you who may not be great for you, some warm body, just for you to feel slightly better about yourself. Even though you're not going to actually be happy, you're just going to not feel as lonely as before, but you'll probably still feel some loneliness because you'll know that person isn't exactly the best fit for you. They don't fully understand you because they're not the best fit for you, but they're good enough, right? Yeah, so doing these things will help you avoid settling. And with practicing self-love, you'll also hopefully develop some self-respect, because this is another thing that's needed to help you avoid settling. With self-respect, you'll respect yourself enough to want what's best for you, to want amazing things as much as you possibly can get in life, because you'll actually care about yourself and respect yourself enough to know that you're worthy of them. So that's where you're not going to settle for just any random person who comes along, because you're going to respect yourself more than that and say, if I settle for this person, I'm going to lose respect for myself because I know I'm not doing what's best for me, and I'm just giving into these emotions of wanting to run away from loneliness because you're not fully dealing with it. You're just putting a band-aid on the problem, and yeah, you're basically just showing that you don't care about yourself enough to actually want and pursue what is best for you. So self-respect is huge. And then the next tip I have for you is to just create a list of no more than 5 criteria that you want in an ideal partner, or more so I should say, things that are deal breakers for you. Like, these 5 qualities, or even less, are necessary for you to consider even getting into a long-term relationship with someone. Like, really think hard about this list. Like, think it through. It can't be more than 5 items, because if you go beyond 5, you're heading into unicorn territory and you're going to limit your dating pool so much that you'll probably be single your whole life. So don't make more than 5 criteria, and make sure these are probably more personality type criteria than they are like other things, like, oh, they need to be rich, they need to be 6 feet tall, they need to be incredibly attractive. Just make sure they're actually things that will help your relationship with them, not superficial things that will make you slightly better but aren't exactly necessary for you to love the person and to have a great relationship with them. But like I said, no more than 5 items, guys. You do not want to make a list that nobody on the planet will meet. So make sure 5 things that are important, no more. Like, I'll give you an example. My list is only 3 items, because to me, these are the 3 things that I've found are pretty much the most important things for creating a healthy relationship. And it's only 3 items. Like, I don't even have a list of 5 because I just really want these 3 items. And they are pretty much a high level of self-awareness so that she knows when she's causing problems and whatnot, so that she's not going to blame me for everything in her life and have no self-awareness whatsoever. And it'll also help her be able to work on herself and grow herself. So that's important. 2, having a high level of emotional maturity, which basically goes hand in hand with self-awareness, but that will mean she's not going to take her emotions out on me. She's going to know when she's feeling those emotions, she needs to take some time some space from me so that she can work through them instead of immediately interacting with me and, well, what a lot of people do, where they take their emotions out on their partner. I don't want a woman who does that. I want a woman who's worked on herself enough to have a good relationship with her own emotions. And then the 3rd and final thing is for her to be happy on her own. I just found that is so important because remember, that was like the first thing I talked about here, right? Like having enough self-love that you enjoy your own company so you're happy on your own, right? There's a reason that's the number one thing that I mentioned in this video. I want a woman who has that quality as well. I want her to be happy on her own so that I know she's also pursuing what is best for her. And she's already doing well on her own. Like, she doesn't need me to make her feel loved and wanted and to add happiness into her life. Or more so, I should say, she won't look to me to be her sole source of happiness, because that's what people tend to do if they're not able to be happy on their own. They outsource all their happiness to their partners and the people they date, and it's a really unhealthy and even unfair thing to do. So I don't want a woman who's like that. So basically my 3 qualities are that short list, just high levels of self-awareness and emotional maturity, and her being happy on her own. That's it. So maybe that can give you an idea of a starting point for your own list, but there you go. You do not want to make a super extensive list because you just don't want to head into unicorn territory. I almost feel like even with my 3 qualities in today's world, that's almost unicorn territory. It's not, but it almost is, just because so few people seem to work on themselves nowadays. But anyway, let's get on to the final tip that I have for you, which is once you've practiced all the things beforehand, now you want to put yourself out there. Just focus on getting out there, because you're not going to meet someone amazing by staying in your room all day and never going outside, right? They're not going to crash through your ceiling and land in your lap. Like, that's not how dating works. And have to put this in there, you're probably not going to meet them online. I hate to break it to you. I know that's like a really easy way to go about dating. You're probably not going to meet them online. Like, I've used apps for years now, and I've tried all different ways of like tailoring my profile. I have not met many great women on dating apps. So good luck finding them. Like, it could happen, but the odds are so freaking low. I would not bank on it. So go out there and meet people in person. Do not try to meet them online, and do not try to meet them by staying indoors all day. You've got to put yourself out there. So just think about the qualities that you want in a partner, and now think about what kind of activities would that person be interested in. Then go out there and do those activities. That's how you will meet the kind of people you're interested in, by doing the things that they would probably be drawn to. So if you want someone who loves the outdoors, you should find hiking groups. If you want someone who is maybe somewhat intellectual, or somebody who really adores beauty, then go to like poetry reading type things. I don't know what the poetry reading venues, I don't know what to call them, but yeah, go to things like that. Or if you want someone who's kind of more in tune with their body, and they're probably more grounded and maybe even a bit more sexual than most people, go to like dance classes, because that's where you'll likely find that. There are just so many different things that you can explore, so many hobbies or activities that will lead you to certain personality types. So really think about what personality criteria you're looking for in someone, and then what kind of activities they would be drawn to. And then go out there and do those activities, because that's going to put you hopefully around the kind of people that you're most interested in. So there you go. That's pretty much my main list for helping you avoid settling in life, because so many people do it. It's really unfortunate. So many people do it, and they convince themselves, hey, it's good enough, so why should I try to find someone better? They're good enough as they are. I mean, sure, they're probably good enough, but to me, good enough just doesn't sound fulfilling, because I know a woman who's good enough probably won't be able to understand me and relate to me on the same deep level that a woman who is amazing would. And I'm willing to stay being single for a while to meet an amazing woman, because I just don't want to settle for a woman who's good enough and who I feel like I would never be able to truly be my honest and authentic self around her, because she probably hasn't done the level of inner work needed for me to feel comfortable doing that. Because I know there are certain things that will then create tension and kind of chaos in our relationship, because she hasn't worked on herself enough to be on the level to handle those things without them being issues. What I'm more so getting at there is the fact that so many people take you communicating your boundaries as like a personal attack on them, and they get all defensive and take it personally when it has nothing to do with them. It's just you conveying your boundaries to them. Yeah, I want a woman who's mature enough to be able to understand that sort of thing, and not a woman who is good enough, but as soon as you communicate boundaries, she gets defensive and mad, and yeah, just don't want to deal with that. So there you go. Do not settle. Go out there and find someone who is amazing. But anyway, I'm heading into rambling territory, so I'm going to end the video here, but I truly hope you enjoyed this one. And if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm. And remember, guys, we're all on this journey together. So the most important thing is that you just keep going, keep moving forward, keep working on yourself, and keep putting yourself out there so you can avoid settling. I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!